something very special here before we kick off. Who's going to explain it?
Who's Jenny?
Kōtiro here, can I say something?
Yeah. Where you go, Jenny?
Kia ora. I'm going to give each of you a number, and then I'll call 4 of you up, and 4 of you will get a spot prize.
You do it, Jenny. What do you think? Oh, okay, you're giving. Okay.
While she's taking that around, these cards are green. They're a secret, but I don't know what it is. I think whoever gets the lucky draw on these cards, 4 of you, are going to get something out of it. I don't know how it works. So just be prepared to find out what's going to happen next.
Okay, and the winner, the number?
Number 4.
The number 5.
Yep.
4 is the one.
Oh,
So cute.
And 12.
11 and 12. Thank you, Tamariki Ma. Lovely. You go. Kia ora tātou. I just got a pū kōrero here for the pū kōrero, or another word is called a story. A story that dates back in time and history. Okay? I'm just going to give a little burst on what this pū kōrero is all about. It's about our migration of our people coming to Aotearoa. I have been to a lot of kura wānanga in my day of growing up and studying it and learning it with our elders and our kaumātua on the kōrero of the migration, the huinga o ngā waka, and how waka and who we are and what is Māori, where do we come from. And the questions arise over the years, and a lot of us need to reflect on some of these things with our Māori tanga. And so our Māori travel, great engineers of old time. They never had a kura wānanga. Everything was done specifically, done with the tohunga who gave authority, who had the authority to show our Māori how to do and to make a lot of things happen. And these people were called the tohunga. And because today we have kura wānanga all over, to try and emphasize all our Māori tanga, those days were done by tohunga. They recite a lot of things before they commenced. They did things. And some of those recitations was how to build a waka. Some of these wakas were built The Haurota waka, where I come from, was about 200 feet long, and there were about 400 warsmen to it. The Mātātua was one of the biggest waka again. The Taki Timu was a huge one. These were the arikis of the great time, all these 7 wakas they grew. And when they recited these wakas to be built in Aotearoa, they built it out of rimu. No other place in the world but New Zealand grows rimu. So that's how our wakas were made, out of rimu. Our wakas was one of the great navigations travelling Aotearoa, going far to the Hawaii Nui. That was Hawaii on the horizon. They travelled so far that nobody knew where we came, but our waka had brought Māori here and Māori there. They were our transportation around the world, no doubt about it. And so I've listened to all the kaumātua. I didn't read this from the book, I handed it down from the old people coming to me. And because I've seen the book, it didn't make sense. I only got the word from those old people. Because back in the 1950s, I was listening to doing the wānanga at night, doing recitation on all the coming of our generation. Learning about the capacity of the Māori people grew, and they grew and grew to about 300,000 all over New Zealand. By the time it came into nearing the 1840s of the finding, our iwi dwindled, disappeared. And why? Because there was so much mishap that happened over those years. Going back to the migration of our Māori people hadn't been here long since the 14th century. We have only been about that far that our wakas arrived here, bringing Māori to here in the 14th century. Beyond that, no, because our waka travelled. In the 14th century, to right up gives us another 7th century, which right up to in the 2000 now, which takes us only around about 7th century back to the 1400s. So we've actually coming up from the 1800s now today, we've actually grown. We've actually grown again. But I always reflect back to that time of the kōrero, going back to the migration of our waka. And yes, we had some very strong repellent of our Māori people in those days. The great chiefs, the great wakas, and they were the great engineers of all those times. The wakas, they travelled. And they travelled through using 5 and 6 different methods in their waka. When I listened to those old people talking, the question came to mind, how did they navigate? Okay, a lot of navigation was used by the flying of the birds, the proper birds. They flew in one way, they follow those birds. If there was no birds, they will wait till dark, they will follow the stars. If there was no stars, no birds, they will follow the breeze of the wind that heads north. They follow that northern breeze. They had different magnetic ways of things. They also followed the whale. Whale was a leader, so we had fish that navigated. But on those wakas, they always had, in the front of the waka, they have the tauiwi, which is the nose of the waka, which is the homi. That's the homi part. You might hear homi using our language. And at the back is the taurapa, which is huge thing that comes out with the ropes are hanging at the back of the waka. And right in there is a protection for the ariki, which is the chief. He sits in that waka, and he's doing the citation while they're moving those wakas breaking through Tangaroa. And these wakas were so huge that these people talked about it. And to the people that handed down from our tipunas back to the 1800s, they spoke about how big these wakas were. And they just mingled and disappeared. But they were just big, and I do believe in that. So just to clarify some of these things on the migration of our wakas, 1400s, Māori began to come. They arrived here on those wakas. They didn't only just arrive, those same wakas, they did 2 or 3 trips back over to the Hawaii Nui. Hawaii Nui takes a circle around New Zealand, right around the Pacific, right around the Asian countries, right back down to Australia, back here. Australia is the biggest island in the South Pacific. You must know that. New Zealand is the second. But Australia is a big island. It's not just a country, it's an island. Because it broke away in the years of the magnitude of forces between the Asian countries to develop a island of its own. So remember that. So coming back to this huge circle of our Māori people, we had great navigations of those times coming here to New Zealand. Just remember that we had very clever people. Those people in our Māori time of those days were our tōhunga. They did the recitation. They knew everything. And when they did the waka, they built one. They would take it to a stream. They would build it beside the stream. There was used water. No woman was allowed near it, just men. And they would build these wakas. Then they would put it in the stream, send it into the sea, and it was on its way. So that's a little short story just for you guys, just to pick it up. Feel it up.
I just have a hātai about, I've always heard in Mōtiatia and Tauparapara, there's three, Hawaiki Nui, Hawaiki Ro, Hawaiki Pāmama. He ha tō whakaaro.
Hawaiki Nui is the vast ocean, the great ocean. The Hawaiki Roa is the long ocean, and the Hawaiki Pāmama is the ocean of spirit. So when you hear that say, Hawaiki Nui, Hawaiki Roa, Hawaiki Pāmama, Hawaiki Wairua Tapu, going back to the Wairua Tapu. So they're sending our spirit onto the domain. So you read on the marae, talking about our kaumātua, haere rā, e koro, e kui maha, e rā, haere ki Hawaiki Nui, Hawaiki Roa, Hawaiki Pāmama, haere ki tōna Wairua. So it's gone back to the Wairua time. And that's how we send our spirit of our ancestors back to the glory of God, and where they go. So that's simple, that one day, okay? Just remember that these things are worth many things. So you guys learn your kaipai tapu, always use that phrase too in your forward. So thank you, Yana.
So, the ancestral home is Hawaiki Nui. So that's where we have migrated from, okay, as a people. So Hawaiki Nui. Anyway, we'll record a little more about this stuff. It's just a beginning whānau, so if you have to write those down, please do. Hawaiki Nui, the great ocean. Hawaiki Roa, the long ocean. Hawaiki Pāmama, the ocean of spirit. Okay? So the spiritual ocean. Spiritual. Hey, boy. Mommy. Okay.
The waka in Te Papa, is that a small waka?
That's a small one.
Small one?
Only a
Just
rip.
for a size?
Well, actually, thank you for that, because my tupuna built that one.
Yeah?
That comes from Houston.
Oh, so that's small. So double the size or triple?
Bigger, 3 or 4 times bigger.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be. They're like
That's
the
a lot
Vikings.
of people.
They call it the Vikings, they're not. They were just huge. Built out of one whole tree.
Wow.
They're huge.
And so that remove that came from the original, where you originate from, or from New Zealand?
Which one?
That the waka were built out of?
They were made from our own transport. Nowhere in the world, but the rimu grows in New Zealand.
Okay.
That gives you an idea now? No, it doesn't grow anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So the wakas come from here,
From here.
New Zealand.
Okay.
Rimu, look in dictionary or look in your encyclopedia, you see rimu.
Mm.
Nowhere in the world but New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So boy, okay, our next segment is we're going to be covering over the whānau structure. And we're going to be talking about the titles and the names of each of our whānau members in our. So imagine this is a people mover, okay? There's only a small one here, it's 6 people in this one. So what I'm going to need is, I'm going to need a koroa, okay, so a grandfather, and it doesn't have to be our older generation here, it can be someone young. We just play a role today, whānau, okay? Can be the youngest person in this room. I have also been called Karawa myself. And it is also it's an affectionate term, it's a term of respect. So, kei a koe te tūru, ka koe tika ana tuku I want to sit. He pā, wai. So, comes our Karawa, and wai te kuia. Who is the kuia? We need a kuia. Nanny. Ka wai tēnei, ka mai. So, our waka, te waka o Whanaungatanga, that's the name of our waka. Okay, this is the waka of Whanaungatanga. Right, okay, next up we have Matua, our papa. Who's our papa? Papa, Elder. We're going to reverse some roles today, Whānau Ma. If your ex-wife can sit in the front, you can drive if you want to. Dad usually drives, eh?
I've been a passenger.
Oh, wants to be a passenger, okay, goodbye. Okay, Paia, Mum, Hawaii Paia. Who's Mum? Can be anyone. Quit. I don't mind. Four. And then we'll keep the two. For the passenger as well. At your point, because I do need a tamaiti, a child. Like, now who else are we missing? We need a kamahine, daughter. Alright. PowerPoint. Okay. So driving in the car.
Instruction.
Driving in the car. So. Oh. Yeah. So, te whanaungatanga, te waka nei, te ingoa whanaungatanga. So you're all travelling as a family in the car. Okay? So at the back, I muri, we have Karawa, me te kuia. Karawa, grandfather. Kuia, nanny. So these are title names. So the other thing is too, whānau, and your rohe, and your iwi, you will have different names for these things. Matua had a pātai before, and that's kei te tika, that's correct. There will be different names for different things. So I have a different name for nanny. I call my elders pākeke. I don't call them these kupu, but these are generic ones, okay? Just to start off. But obviously, I'd rather that you use your kōrero from your iwi. Okay, te pai? Okay. So, Karawa, Kuia, Matua, Paia, Tamaiti, ko koe te Tamaiti, you are the child. Hey, te marama koe, do you understand? You're not the Karawa, you're not the Kuia, or te Tamaiti koe. You're the young child. And ko koe te Tamahi, you are the daughter. Jenny doesn't know, Jenny. Just think,
right,
sorry.
we're always
Aroha. So, now, watch me. If you don't mind. So, Taiho Tama Hine. Amahine, tamahi, tamahi. Maiti, Maiti, Koroua, Koroua. So, and with our R's, there's a lot of rolling, Koroua, Kuia, a short one, Kuia, Nanny, Kuia. This is the beginning. There are many different names, but this is where this is the place to start from. Okay. Matua, Fire, Tamaiti, Tamahi, Whanaunga Tanga. So obviously different iwi, they have different pronunciation, and also they drop the G sometimes, or they'll drop the K and put something else in there, but that's another show. We'll just start with this, with the foundational kōrero. So, kei te pai, so, whanaunga, waka, o whanaunga tanga. So the family vehicle, so one more time, Koroua, Kuia, Matua, Fire, Tamaiti, Tamahi. Kei te marama, kei te pai, hoki mai koutou i te